Hello everyone, thanks for joining in. For today's video, I have a review for you. This would just be my initial thoughts, not quite an unboxing. I played with them a little bit, enough to have some generic thoughts about this. So I want to get this out. I'll have a follow-up video after probably a week or so of playing with these and when I really solidify what my thoughts are, and see if anything's changed since then. But anyway, just to give you a brief kind of layout, this will be a longer video than um, some of my other reviews. So I wanted to lay out an outline. I'll also lay out the chapters below. So if you want to skip to something particular, you can do that. So after this intro, I'm going to move on to a shameless plug for myself, hoping that maybe somebody at Covert Instruments will see it. I'll move on to the pros that I see, the cons that I see, possible improvements, things I hope that they're working on, overall feedback, and then I will close out with my closing thoughts. So now that I've laid out the outline, shameless plug. So I do have an engineering degree, and I've worked in the injection plastic or injection molding industry for almost the last decade. So I have a lot of experience in some things I think that could be done to make this set cheaper and more available to everybody. Because I think that's one of its biggest cons is how expensive this set is. That is at least my initial thoughts. But anyway, so I wanted to let that be known that I would be willing to help kind of give some feedback and thoughts on any other plastic pieces that y'all plan on getting made or different iterations of this. So with that shameless plug, I will start off with the pros. This is a really complete set. So I think it really takes you from beginner with their 25 thou all the way up to the advanced set. Some nice tension tools are also included here. It's basically all of their sets that they sell. So this is basically their Genesis set. This is their next level set. What's the word I'm looking for? It's eluding me right now. Oh, their echelon set essentially is what this is with the overmolded handles. And then these are new. This is not something that you can buy from them right now. There's a gym set. What I really like, at least from the Mctickler, not the Mctickler set, the Reaper set. This really slim, low, short hook. I really enjoyed using that on some of the tighter keyways. So good set here. But this here, I wish they would have left these kind of raking tools, bypass tools for or I guess they're all raking tools for the dimple locks, kind of the Mctickler here, and some different kind of rakes. I wish they would have changed this out. I'm getting ahead of myself in my outline, but I wish they would have given more of a bypass set or bypass tools, and I'll put that in some of the improvements or talk about that a little bit further. And then it has a pretty complete tension set. So really nice. I love the magnetics of this. Really holds everything in place, keeps it all organized. That is one of the features I really do like about this. And of course, on camera, it wants to be a little finicky, but I really do like how that is. I love how everything is magnetically retained. So you can shake it all around. You don't have to worry about losing your picks or they getting dropped somewhere. So, I mean, that's super nice. The feel of these picks is super smooth. Great texture. So yeah, everything about the picks themselves feels good. I picked a few locks with these, both the 25 thou set and the 20 thou set. So that's going to be the black ones and the kind of green ones here. And I like them. They seem to be really good. They seem to be good product. What else do I have on here? Oh, they're stackable. So I don't know if this is a pro or con. I don't really know what this is. It's something that they've advertised as being a kind of a way to declutter. They do all snap together, retain very nicely, shake them around. and then you can take them apart one-handed. So it's not too tight of a fit, which I really do like. I was worried that these were going to be a super tight kind of snap fit that required a lot of grip to take apart. But again, it's enough that you can just take it apart one-handed. So that is a nice feature of these. I think, I don't know long term, but initially I do like that. Let's see what else I have for pros on my list. I think that's everything. All right, so moving on to the cons. So a con here is right now, none of these are etched how thick they are. So it is easy to tell the black ones are 25 thou, the OD green are 20 thou. I did measure these and that they measured exactly right. So good on that. But if they come out with any other colors or anything, I really wish they would have put a label on it. It's free to do in the manufacturing step, maybe a little extra time, but it's all done on a laser. So I don't know why that wasn't included. I wish it was. The same thing is true for the latest Jimmy Long picks that I have. So that was one con. I hope they get that fixed. Something else that I noticed, especially with the 20 thou, is they feel a lot more flexible compared to this Reaper set or other sets that I have from them. And I've tried getting equivalent kind of length picks and pushing on them. And I don't know why that is. It might be just my perception. It might be they changed the material. I really don't know what that is, but it is something that I did notice while I was briefly playing with them, that it seemed like they had a little bit more flex to them. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. I'm going to put it in the cons, but we'll see how that goes. I might change that as I use these moving forward. The next con that I have is the rubber case that came with it. I really think this was a miss. I think it was just something they were trying to get out quickly. It looks nice, and in theory, I'm sure it is nice. But it was a pain to get these installed in, and yeah, I didn't like it. I feel like didn't need to be included in the set. I wish they would have done some other things that I'll get into with improvements. But yeah, I think this was not necessarily needed, and I wish they would have left that out and done some other things with the money that they invested in that tooling. What else do we have? I think that's all the cons that I have for now, that are real cons overall. So what improvements would I do? So the first thing I would do is I would probably ditch all of these picks. Maybe keep the dimple rake. I haven't used it, but I know some people have. But for me, I wish they would have removed that and included maybe some kind of decoding tools would have been nice. What else would have been nice? A knife. A bypass knife would have been nice. Jigglers. I wish they could have included some jigglers. I'm hoping in the future that's something that they include, preferably with a fixed jiggler head, not the flexible one like they have now. That's just me. I know some people like it, but I would prefer that to be all just fixed. So a jiggler set would be nice, and I'm sure they're working on this. I'm sure that's coming up next, is they're going to have another add-on that stacks onto this. Another improvement, and this kind of goes on to the what I was talking about with the case. I really wish they would have had these snapped together. So your tension tools would have snapped into your picks. I don't know why I was struggling there, but they don't click together that way. But I think that's a huge miss. I think that's a room for improvement. I think that would have been a better function. Because yeah, once you click these together, they only click like that. They don't click the other way, so your tools are still exposed, which isn't the end of the world if you're leaving it on your desk. But if you're traveling with it, I really would have preferred to be able to stack everything together and then have the tension tools be the lid here. That would have been how I did it had they asked me, but they didn't. So anyway, so everything stacks up and is exposed. And there's pros to that, there's cons to that, but that would be one of the things I would improve on. What else do I have? This is more me being nitpicky. With the tension, let me move some of this stuff out of the way. The tensioner tray, I really wish, not wish, but just an observation was they had a little warp in here. And that's just my OCD. When I touch things, it kind of rattles. Doesn't seem to be as big an issue with the, there's a little rattle with the picks here, but it's definitely noticeable with the tension tools. Moving on to talking about the tension tools. Another improvement would be, so if you look closely on the ergo turners up here, if I can get that out on camera, you can see that they have a label on here for how thick this turner is. They only go in one place. I guess you could probably put the smallest one in the bigger slot, but you can't put the big one into the small slot. So I like how they labeled it, especially somebody like me that's OCD. I really like seeing those numbers and having making sure that they go together the right way. But on that, I wish they would have put labels. I know you can put them anywhere, but I wish they would have labeled this tray with how thick the different tensioners are. It would have been free to do, wouldn't have cost anything in the mold. So I think that's something that was it's kind of a miss. I'm kind of disappointed in that, but not the end of the world. The biggest, I guess, gripe I have with this case is the bent turners. There's no retention for them, so they just kind of flop around. So not the biggest fan of that. I think if they'd have done something like they did with these ergo turners, that would have been super slick. And yeah, I would have liked that a lot more than this. It just feels like it was an add-on last minute. But does it hold them? Yes. Is it the best thing in the world? No. So I'm not going to give it a con, but definitely there is a lot of room for improvement when it comes to this for the bent bottom of keyway, top of keyway tension tools. What else do I have on here? We talked about the top plate, retention, warp, label. Yeah, and the bypass set. I really wish they would have included that instead of all these extra, where'd they go? McTickler and, the different kind of profiles that are in that vein. It would have given me something a little bit more useful as a picker or bypasser. So that was those are my cons. Overall thoughts. Moving on. So I do want to just briefly compare these to my Jimmy Longs because I have them here. So there's a couple of things worth noting. And if you've used either, you'll probably recognize it. But with the Covert Instruments, they have a lot narrower tang the full way. This is nice for some things, but it definitely is a lot more flexible, but also allows you to go deeper into a keyway. So if you look at these Jimmy Longs, they're a lot stiffer, and that's because they have this kind of tapered edge here. So that just gives it a lot stronger overall pick. With that design, that's one of the things that he really sells as his picks or for his picks is that that taper really makes a stronger pick, and it does. There's no doubt about it that this Covert Instruments will be a weaker pick overall, and that's just the fundamentals of the design. Overall, if you were to overlay them, they're about the same size. Very little difference for this particular pick, which is kind of the standard pick. Covert Instruments is just a tad longer, but not much. They're essentially the same thickness. I didn't measure them, but they feel about the same thickness. They feel, I'd say, the same texture. Yeah, I'm betting they're the exact same material, which I believe is a glass-filled nylon. But yeah, overall, that's one thing that's a difference. And then I'm sure somebody's going to want to know, can you put the Jimmy Longs into the Covert Instruments? And the answer to that is no. I think that is a miss on the design from Covert Instruments for these trays, because I think if they just sold these trays as is and they fit Jimmy Longs, I think they'd get some extra bonus business. And unfortunately, that's not a still safe change. So they are not able to easily do that in the mold, but it would have been a really nice thing to do, and would allow people to store their Jimmy Longs and maybe get some different business. But I'm not gonna give too many ideas to the public, because like I said, I am trying to potentially see if they Covert Instruments wants to hire me on as a contractor or give some feedback on plastic part design. So that one's for free. What else do we have? Oh, also I'll put a link to Jimmy Long's my video kind of describing and reviewing his picks. So I'll put that link above right here. I talked about overall how the material is more flexible. Don't know why that is, just an observation. One more thing. This one kind of irks me. So you'll see on these picks, they say made in the USA. And I think that's something that Covert Instrument tries to sell as a benefit. And I truly believe that is. I would pay the premium to have something made in America. But in this set, I got some turners. And these turners, I didn't even unwrap them. They're still in the saran wrap that they came in. I already had some turners from before, so I figured I'd just use those for this video and probably forever. But this does say made in China. I was very disappointed that they had some tools or pieces and components of this that were made in China. I don't know where the rest of the turners are made or manufactured. I don't know if they're American or if they're overseas. I have no idea. But I did want to put this out there because I was truly surprised that was labeled as made in China. And this was the only one of all the different boxes I got. This was, in honesty, the only one that was marked as made in China, but I did want to bring that up as something that I noticed and was surprised by. So hopefully you won't be surprised by that. And then moving on to my closing thoughts here. This has been kind of a longer video, so I'll try to get this finished up pretty quickly. My first thought is this is not an entry-level set. This is a very expensive set. I believe these are going on sale, or these are for sale right now for $200 for this complete set. I don't know off the top of my head what the cost is for one tray. I know they do sales a few times a year, so they'll probably come down for that. I'm sure they're going to come down long term, but right now this is a very expensive set and very cost prohibitive for most people to get into. What else do we have? Oh, something else that I thought was really cool. Because I am in the plastics industry, I noticed that they use what's called hot runners. I won't get into the science of that, but the cliff notes are that it's very environmentally friendly because you have very little plastic scrap as a result of this manufacturing process. So it does mean that they invested some good money into their tooling and manufacturing processes. And so I was very happy to see that they're using hot runner systems. So good for them on that. So yeah, I think that's it. That's the closing thoughts. Would I recommend this? I don't know. I think it was fun. I think it is a very complete set. I'm very happy with it, especially because I still am using some of the money I got from picking their golden tag, which I wish I'd put back out. I thought that was a great challenge. I thought it was cool to see the different people pick those locks. But anyway, so thank you for Covert Instruments for giving me that opportunity. And otherwise, I probably would not have bought these picks to begin with without listening to some other people do some reviews. So hopefully y'all found this valuable. If you have any questions or anything that you'd like to see in my next video after I played with these a little bit longer, please leave them in the comments. And if not, I'll see y'all next time, and y'all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.